Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
And we welcome you to a beautiful, absolute Chamber of Commerce fall day coming to you live from, in Neptune Beach. You know where we're at by now. Our Thursday home is Sliders Oyster Bar, the best seafood, the freshest seafood can always be found and prepared to your liking right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Famous place here in the Duval County area, and you will not be disappointed. If you're in the mood for some seafood, come on down today, tonight, anytime. Make sure you get down to Sliders soon, as the afternoon happy hour crowd starting to file in. Got some ladies getting settled there. They're perusing the menu. A couple other people coming in. The bar is set up and ready to go. Everybody's having a good time. That's what happened at Sliders Oyster Bar. Terry Norvelle here. We hope to hear from Patrick Young here momentarily. And we're going to try and hook up with Brent Beard around 5 o'clock. He's got some stuff going on, but we want to get Brent on another just a weekend after weekend of just big college football games are on the docket. We want to talk about, obviously, the NFL and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Zach Rothrock, our producer, will jump on here momentarily. Major League Baseball. It's funny, and Zach, I don't know how big of a baseball fan you are, Major League Baseball fan, but you even know this if you're just a novice fan. It's funny. We've played all these games, 162-game regular season. We're in the third or fourth round, depending on the wild card of baseball. We're playing off. We're steaming toward the World Series. And, Zach, I don't know if you've noticed it, and I know you're busy trying to get Patrick hooked up, so step aside if you need to. But
we're good.
All of this baseball, all of these rounds, all of this, all of that, all the stuff around the big, long baseball season, and you know what's about to happen in the World Series? You're going to have the two best teams playing.
At the end of it all anyway. It seems like it's going to culminate to that anyway. I mean, it feels like most of these sports get to that. The cream rises to the top, as they say.
Yeah, you know what? You're going to have the Yankees, who are good. They won 90 whatever games. They fought it out with the Orioles. They fought it out with Kansas City. They're kind of making easy work so far with Cleveland, and they're going to win, right? They're up. What are the Yankees? 2-0.
They're up 2-0. Yep.
Yeah, both games are today. And then you look at the other side, the Dodgers. You know, they've battled injuries. They've got the star-studded lineup. They've got they're the Yankees of the West Coast, right? I mean, they got the big payroll. They've got the stars. They've been pushed a little bit. San Diego pushed them, right, in the regular season. A couple teams made runs at them after they jumped out to a big lead early in the season. But you know what? Unless something crazy happens, the Dodgers with a huge shutout win at New York last night. The Dodgers and the Yankees are going to meet, it looks like. And I can't wait for that. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Tonight will be Yamamoto versus Ken. That'll be at 8:08 on FS1. And, the Yankees and Guardians, they're actually going to start a little after 5 while we're still on.
Yeah. So Yankees up 2-0. That series moves to Cleveland for 3. Yankees, it's hard to believe Cleveland will sweep 3. If the Yankees even get 1, then it's tough. You got to go. The Yankees will need 1 of 2 at home because remember, it's 2-3-2 in this 7-game series. So the Yankees are tough. And the Dodgers, my God, the Mets worked so hard to get a split out in L.A., right? They got a split 1-1. The Mets, with that split in the first 2 games, Zach, they took over home field, right? If they won their next 3, they could win it.
Yeah, they could.
But the Dodgers shut them out. Yeah, the Dodgers shut them out and took the home field right back. So now the Mets really have to win the next 2, man, to have any kind of a shot in New York, because then they would go to L.A. Tough deal for the Mets after the Mets gave up. They grabbed home field, but they gave it back away,
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers have one of the most insane offensive lineups in the history of baseball. I can't really, I can't think off the top of my head of one that's significantly better. And, I mean, you mentioned the Yankees. The Yankees finished the season with 94 wins. The Cleveland Guardians actually had 92 wins on the whole season.
Yeah, Guardians had a good year. They did. They really did. So, a lot of baseball today, as you said, 5:08 and then 7:38 or something like that. But both series go today. Neither can be closed out, but boy, they can inch closer. It looks like the big bad Dodgers and the big bad Yankees. That's the way it probably should be. I do think we've got Patrick on. I think I heard Patrick stirring in the back. Hey, buddy, what's shaking? Be careful. Be real careful. Talking. Be careful. We were
first talk since post Cisco saying guys quit. Yeah.
Yeah, it flared up a little bit here and there, but it wasn't as big a story as I thought it was. And I think because he threw himself into the comment, I think that helped. You think he threw himself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he didn't call anybody out specifically because you don't do that, and you don't throw your teammate under the bus to the media. You just don't do that.
I'll tell you, Patrick, I'd like to get your thoughts on this upcoming game with New England. The Jaguars taking on New England. New England's not very good. The Jaguars aren't very good. You got 2 1-5 teams. Patrick, I'm almost calling this game Sunday morning in London. To me, and I want your thoughts on it, it is a 23 or 67 game. Let me explain. If the Jaguars were to lose Saturday morning, I think their win total at the end of the year is somewhere between 2 and 3 wins. I mean, 23, right? I'm playing with numbers here. I think they're looking at a absolute wheels fall off, colossal, terrible record. If they win Sunday morning and get to 2 wins, I think they could carve out 6 or 7 wins. Now, so there's your 67. You get it? 23.
Yeah, I got you.
A 23 or 67 game.
I'm picking it up.
You see how I'm going? But Patrick, the way it works,
I got you.
The way it works, after New England, the Jaguars have 5 murder row games, and then the final 5 are manageable. Tennessee, the Jets, the Raiders, Tennessee, and Indy. Maybe no playoff teams at all. And Pat, you know how the NFL works. The last 3 or 4 weeks of the NFL season, regular season, there's a flaw in that system. And what happens is you get 2 teams out of the playoffs to get matched up in week 15, 16, 17, 18. Patrick, those are dog games, and you can steal 2 or 3 wins at the end of the year. You can. Wins. But if you're 2 wins going in, I mean.
Well, let me ask you this, Terry. At what point? So, I guess if they lose this game, is this all right? We need to grab the number 1 pick kind of mindset after that.
Yeah. You hope not, and you hope for the fans' sake not, because people have paid a lot of money for entertainment, and they would never pay that kind of money if they knew their team threw in the towel. But yeah, it's a tough call.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
I will say,
why would I go to it? I don't care how diehard a fan I am. If I know that you guys are not even trying to go out there and win, and don't why would I spend my money on that? Good point.
I probably wouldn't buy tickets the following season. I will say this, Patrick. I'm going to be the first on record to say this. If the wheels totally fall off, let's say they lose Sunday to New England and they only win another couple games, they get 3 and 14, and they get the first pick. Can I please tell the Jaguars, for God's sakes, if you do get the first pick in the NFL draft in 2025, absolutely do not use it to select anybody. You must trade that pick. Go get you a serviceable offensive lineman and a cornerback. Or do not make a pick there. Trade it and get.
Man, Are you more? I completely agree with the offensive lineman, but middle linebacker over corner.
Yeah, you throw a dart.
I don't believe in. I think Ventrell Miller and Foye are our best lineup. I hate to say I don't believe in Devin Lloyd. I think he's just the guy.
I'm with you, Lloyd, and that's fine. Go get a middle linebacker along with an offense. You've got to go use that first pick. If the Jaguars come to that again, I don't care. Do not draft the hottest offensive lineman. I want a guy that is ready to plug and play. And then, but if you got the first pick and you find the right team that wants that first pick, go get a serviceable tackle or guard. And a linebacker, as you said, or a cornerback, but do not dare use that pick if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, I think. What about so let's say that they do have literally the number 1 pick, and I think something that could be a possibility is you probably want to trade back a couple spots. I think he would still be there, and then get a Travis Hunter. I mean, he could be the corner, and then you could also potentially use him in some select packages on offense. But trade back a few, because I understand what you're saying.
Hey, fine with me. Just don't use it for one singular player because you're not going to use it on a quarterback, and that's about the only big diamond that you want to use a number one on. They've done that. Do not use that on one player. No. Trading back counts. Zach, I agree with what you said. That counts too.
But Hunter could almost be two players.
You need bullets in the gun, man. You need bullets.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And you don't want to take Hunter number one overall, but you take him maybe number 6 overall, number 5, trade back for some team that wants a quarterback, that wants yours, or whoever happens to be that number one overall prospect. I think that might be the path that I would consider.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with
you. Are you able with trading those picks? Are you able to get, maybe steal a player or two? I would think, if a team really wanted Quinn Ewers and you had the power of, hey, we'll make it fair. We'll give you this pick. We just need to exchange for this player, or whatever.
Yeah. And Pat, you make a great point. If the team that wants Quinn Ewers in your scenario, and they know they need to guarantee it, they got to get number one, right? And you've got number one. The team that wants them, particularly if they pick down the road, you want somebody that picks 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th, right? Because they don't think they're going to make it. He's never going to fall. So you go to them, Pat, and you go, hey, you want yours? We like your starting guard. We want your guard and swap picks, right? Or your guard swap picks. And in Zach's scenario, you may be, and yours too, Patrick. In that scenario right there, you get a guard, a ready-made push-button guard on the offensive line, and you still may be able to get Hunter at 7, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going past 10.
Do not.
And I think, but the issue with Travis Hunter, though, I don't think he's not going to be able to do two positions in the NFL.
No.
It is kind of nice to know that he could, and I'm sure maybe on his own time he'll try to stay sharp. But if he wants to get paid, if he wants to be an integral piece of, because the best corners of the game, they're bored. They're bored, Terry, because nobody throws the ball to them.
They get paid to be bored if they're that good.
Yeah.
If they're that good, they get paid to be bored. That good. Now, Travis Hunter could certainly do a Dion scenario. Dion was so good.
That's
he
what
was
I
locked in the corner. He was a cornerback, but the NFL worked special packages. He played some receiver, getting him the ball 4 times a game. Not anywhere now. On offense in Colorado, he's on the field a lot on offense. I'm not suggesting that many plays, but Dion, remember, he would play cornerback. That was his position. He would return a punt here and there and a kickoff, and he'd play wide receiver. But it would be a handful of plays. But he was lethal with the ball in his hands. Lethal.
Yeah, when you just wanted to put situations where he had the ball in his hand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. By the way, speaking of, glad you brought up. I'm glad we brought up Dion here. I've also figured out the other way, and there's nothing wrong with what I'm going to say. I'm not picking on Dion by any stretch of imagination. But I've also figured out another way he's going to get out of Colorado and try and save face a little bit, because I think he'll be bored once his kids are gone. What Dion's going to say, particularly if Shedeur goes first or in the top 3 or 4 picks, I think Dion's going to say, hey, I'm stepping away from coaching. I'm going to try and nurture my son. I mean, this is a big spotlight. I'm going to try and I've been there. I'm going to try and walk my son through the next 2 or 3 years. So I think that's a way he can get out of coaching as well at Colorado.
I don't think that's if that's really what he wants to do and get out of coaching and follow his his son, I think that's an honorable thing to do. Unless it's like I'm getting out, if he's pulling an Urban Meyer, take that year off. I'm done coaching. Yeah. Nah, I'm going to Ohio State.
Yeah, but I think he wants to get out of Colorado.
Yeah.
Once his kids are gone and once the boy, because Colorado, if Dion truly wants to be a big time college coach, Colorado is not the destination. You're just not going to win big at Colorado. And I don't think Dion's a guy that says, I'm fine. I'll coach the next, 15 years and be, 7-5. I don't think,
I haven't paid attention to this, but is there Dion? He's not in good favor or good relations with Florida State. Is that true?
I don't know what that relationship is. I really don't.
I've heard that he never talks about Florida State, and if he does, it's not positive. And because my buddy was like, yeah, man, I think Deion should come to the Gators. I'm like, Deion's not going to come to the Gators? You serious? But then he was like, he told me that stuff about Florida State, and I'm like, huh. I mean, that would be the ultimate spite.
I don't remember seeing him around the program much, but just because you don't go to the sideline and watch games of your old school doesn't mean you're not, still in good graces. I don't know, though, Patrick. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Hey, speaking of FSU, let me throw this out. I was just talking to some guys before the show, and actually a buddy of mine, Ron, I was talking to, a guy, and I said, Ron, do you realize Florida State plays tomorrow night? He goes, what? FSU plays tomorrow night, Friday night, football. Did you know that, Pat?
No, I didn't. Who they got?
Florida State plays Duke Friday night at 7:00 at Duke.
Oh, wow.
1-5.
Well, now that you say that, I remember from the rundown, you said, can Duke do what it's never done before, beat Florida State? I think, and it's in Duke. It's in
it's
right?
in Wallace-Wade, in Durham.
Yeah.
Duke is
they're going to win.
Duke's 5-1. FSU's 1-5.
Oh, 5-1.
And that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow night. I love it because I got a Friday night game to watch.
There we go.
Yeah, but
they're going to win. They're going to win that game.
Duke's having a
Duke's
good
going to
win. Duke's having a good season. They really are. First year, Manny Diaz is there, and I think their quarterback is still the kid from Texas, Malik Murphy, the kid from Texas who filled in pretty well, but he saw the writing on the wall. I think he's still healthy and playing at Duke. But speaking of, Pat, make sure you get your picks in for tomorrow. I've already got mine.
I might.
Should we go?
I might do. We did. We did. We did. No, you and I went. We went over it. I think on Tuesday, and then Zach wasn't with us. Leave Zach alone, Terry.
So Patrick, I had you at a 30 week, a plus 30.
I got a 30 week.
So you're
when being able before the game starts to hear what they're talking about. Like on because I chose one college game. I just
make a habit of that. I'm not doing all that work.
I know.
Don't make a habit of that.
I know. But it was so helpful to have like a little bit of extra context before. Like, okay, that guy's out. They suck or blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, we got this. So,
but you only did that because you were gone to California, where you're at. You'll be around tomorrow, so we can make these picks. But Zach, can you fire up? Zach, it looks like we had you at. Zach,
man, it's crazy how much easier it is when you have like time to make your picks. You don't have to like produce a show while you're like looking at what's happening. I'm not making excuses, man. I'm not. No, this is crazy though. No, like look, let me break down. Let me break down what has happened so far. Listen, this guy never lets me speak my piece, man. This is crazy.
I'm listening, Zach.
Thank you, Pat. Is actually so listen, so at the beginning of the year I was trying to apply logic and reasoning, okay, and this wasn't working at all. Okay, I was like, let's pick against Malik Willis. He's been awful. He suddenly turns into the greatest. He's like Vince Young in the Rose Bowl all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, he was.
And the game that literally broke me, okay, the game that broke me mentally was when the Steelers didn't beat the Cowboys. That was crazy to me. Okay, so last week I decided, you know what, I'm just going to pull for games, for scenarios that I personally want to root for and want to have fun with. And good God Almighty, they literally all three lost. So you know what? I actually have a brand new strategy this week. Check this out. Brand new strategy. All right, brand new strategy. I'm going to go with all three of the local football teams that have been doing so well this year. I'm going with the Florida Gators. I'm going with the Seminoles. I'm going with the Jaguars.
Let's go, write it in. We're not writing it down. Tomorrow we'll all write it down. Zach,
I got you. I'll remember this. I will.
Why don't you go? Instead of Florida State, how about Miami?
No, Miami hasn't been doing good enough. I want only the good teams, only the really, really good teams. No, I want to see. This is crazy. I feel like I'm cursing these teams. So I want to see if I can make it where these teams don't win a game for the rest of the year. I don't think they will. None of them are going to win, and I'm going to be on the side where they get points, and they're not even going to cover. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to be 400 in the hole. Gosh. This is fun. It's honestly one of the most insane social experiments I've ever seen in my life.
This is pretty. Yeah.
I'm having fun.
Zach, so I had you. Zach, I had you. I think
I'm minus 35.
Minus
maybe
30.
minus 25.
You can only go to minus 30.
Yeah, on the week I was minus 30. Yeah, I'm talking about like overall.
I've got you as minus 25.
Yeah.
Because you were 35.
Yeah, that sounds right. I was at plus 5. Oh man, I'm crazy. Oh, dude, we're good, man.
Yeah, you're
good,
minus
dude. This is easy. Yeah, I've only had to wash like 4
Hey,
dishes.
it's
so
not
far.
how you
This is
start; it's how
easy.
you finish.
You're damn right. This
You
thing
just
ain't
got to
over.
keep playing
Yeah,
that. Keep playing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm mentally broken. I'm going with the Florida Gators, the Seminoles,
Hey,
and the
was it-
Jaguars. I'm mentally broken.
What was the movie?
My fantasy
with the
team's
toga?
5-1 though.
John Belushi movie with the togas. What was that? Comic
Animal
movie?
House.
What was it?
Animal House.
Animal House. Like they said in Animal House,
Mhm.
Zach. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Right, you remember that line from right? They
I
messed it up.
do, I
Wasn't
do.
it? Yeah. So anyway, we're
understand.
looking at. I had a by the way, guys, I had a -10 week, so I dropped all the way down to 150.
I got you. I remember you got the Texas right.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Malik Willis is terrible. What the hell is this guy doing? He's terrible.
Not when they played the Titans. He wasn't. He was 2008 Vince Young.
It
was one of the most insane things I've seen in my life, man. It really was.
And by the way, we lost Pat there, but as our team picks, I think we were 3-3. I have trouble keeping up with all those.
I'm here.
And I think we were 3-3 with our team picks. We'll see those tomorrow. But you guys get your 3 games, your games ready for tomorrow. 3, and we'll go. I've got mine picked out. I'll tease y'all a little bit if you want. Can I tease y'all a little bit?
I love to be
Zach
teased.
Rothrock, I'm actually taking the game that involves your South Carolina Gamecocks in Oklahoma. I won't tell which way I'm going.
All right.
I'm making a pick with North Carolina State, California, and I'm making a pick Oklahoma State and BYU. That's a Friday night game as well, so I got to get that in. But those are the games I'm taking. You don't know what direction I'm going.
What's the spread on the Cox game?
Right now, I don't know. Gosh darn. I'm showing South Carolina's getting 3.5 points. It's in Norman. So anyway, you don't
only
have to
3.5. Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Oklahoma's.
Do you realize? Do you realize how bad those two offenses?
They're not good.
It could be a terrible offensive game.
Yeah. The defenses are going to have to score points.
Yeah. Oklahoma's defense is good. They're running into what happened.
What's do you have the over under on that?
We're going to do this tomorrow, guys.
Okay.
Hold on. What game?
It's very intriguing.
Hold on. What game, Patrick?
What's the over under on that one, Terry?
Total points.
South Carolina, Oklahoma.
Total points.
It's two freshman quarterbacks.
Yeah,
40. 40 points.
I don't ever write down.
I see 40. I see 40 even.
40?
Which also kind of seems high. It really does.
Yeah. Oklahoma reminds me.
Seems high.
Oklahoma's offense is so bad. You see this happen when you have a really good defense. After 6 or 7 games, your offense breaks your defense. Your defense gets so tired of just grinding and nothing to show for it. They kind of break. You can see Oklahoma's offense right now with Hawkins is really bad. I mean, really, really bad. Really bad. Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, let's take our first break. Pat,
what's his name wasn't any better. Arnold not even any better. Jackson Arnold sucks too.
He was bad, wasn't he? Gosh darn. Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Think about what you just said. The Oklahoma Sooners, think about the quarterbacks they've run through the last 15 years. Think about the
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, they were falling out of Norman, right? They were the Milrose and the Murray, all these guys that were great. Baker Mayfield, great quarterback.
Hurts, Baker Mayfield.
They can't find a guy that can throw a 5-yard forward pass now. It's unbelievable. Think about it. But seriously, think about all of those quarterbacks. I mean, you could go all the way back to Jason White.
Even Spencer Rattler's in the NFL. He might not be.
Say what you want.
He made it to the league.
Think about all those. I mean, they were just cycling through quarterbacks. They were running guys off that were good other places. See Spencer Rattler because they had such good quarterback play. Now they can't complete a 5-yard forward pass. All right, Pat, hang with us as long as you can. We've got other things to get into. Mahana Jaguar talk. I want to talk about on the other side, the Georgia Bulldogs, the Gators, and we touched on Florida State a little bit. I don't know if people understand how one-sided the Florida State-Duke rivalry is or has been sort of in football. We'll talk about those 3 and continue some other college football talk on the other side. It is a Thursday edition. We're glad to be at our home. Beautiful day to be on the patio where I'm at Sliders. If you're in the area, come on up. Make sure you visit this weekend. If you're not, you will be glad you did.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The drink bar, of course, is open. And, of course, the Oyster Bar is rocking and rolling. Johnny Pop, the famous Johnny Pop, behind the Oyster Bar right now, serving it up, raw, steam, however you like them. Come to the greatest oyster bar you will find in our area, I guarantee you that. Sliders Oyster Bar right here in Neptune Beach, featuring safe harbor seafood. The great Julie is also behind the drink bar, making all kind of concoctions. Actually, she's running around somewhere right now, but man, they come up with some really cool beach vibe drinks here, kind of their own craft drinks as well here at Sliders. Feel free to ask what they are concocting. Patrick Young hanging around here. Patrick, I got to get this out. She's back. She's back. That's right, the Beth. You know, she hasn't been working a lot of college football games this year. I don't see her name very often.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
She's back, fellas. If you are a Baylor Bear fan or a homestanding Texas Tech Red Raider, you get the Beth on the call. Beth Mullins this Saturday, baby.
Baylor is actually better than I thought. They're not good, but they're better than I thought they'd be. I thought they were going to be a 2-10 team this year.
They're still going to blow their coach out. Dave Aranda just hasn't worked out. Great defensive coordinator.
No.
He just hasn't worked out as an HC.
It hasn't worked out.
But Lubbock, Texas, are you ready? Beth Mowens on the call. Hi, everybody. I'm Beth Mowens, and sit down and don't turn the volume down. Turn that radio off and listen to me.
Turn that radio off.
She is back, baby. She is back. Hey,
yeah, it'd be so much wiser and has the radio on the whole time.
I have trouble doing that because they're never in sync, and that drives me crazy. I have trouble doing the radio TV thing.
Yeah.
And I like Sean Kelly, and I'm buddies with Shane Matthews. I like catching them post game and pre game, but do you have trouble doing that with the radio TV? It's never synced up and drives me nuts.
I haven't tried it.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it. I think before YouTube TV existed, I think we would do radio because we weren't. I don't think I could pull it up on my phone, the streaming service. Yeah. But now, like if I'm with somebody and we're driving and the game's on, super easy to just put it on your phone and connect to your car.
Yeah, definitely. We've got plenty of college topics we can throw to Brent Beard. We think we're going to have Brent in the 5 o'clock hour. I think he's having some car issues. I told him, hey, man, take care of that first. But, Patrick, is this coming Saturday finally wake up Saturday for the Georgia Bulldogs? They're playing the number 1 team in the nation on the road in Austin. And I'm hearing more people nationally talk about what you and I have talked about with Georgia. Something's missing. There's a much better team in there in that Georgia roster than what they're putting out. But do you think this will finally wake Georgia up? Man, would you agree something's missing?
It's so hard. It's hard because, like, in the big game so far, they've started off so slow offensively.
Every game.
Clemson slow. Kentucky, Alabama. Obviously, they were getting beat 28-0.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Quinn Ewers is going to be back on this game.
Yeah.
I think there is something culturally. And look, we talk about this all the time, and people have heard this ad hominem when you've heard it like nonstop.
Ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum. There, thank you. Ad nauseum. Like, it is so hard to maintain greatness.
Really is.
Like, 1 year. 2 years, obviously they had last year were at 3 points, a 4th year.
Yeah.
To maintain that level of everybody bought in and obsession and not only that, but executing. It's really that's why another thing why it's so amazing what Nick Saban did at Alabama. And he did, he had a year or two where like when he started, they weren't good at Alabama, but when he found his groove, it wasn't no more of them,
9-3.
It was no 3-loss season. It was no, sir.
But man, I think if you talk to every Georgia fan and the regional boys, the national boys are all starting to say what we've been saying. Georgia's winning games. They've only lost one. They're highly ranked. They're Georgia, but there's something missing. This team hasn't. They haven't. It's like there's a governor on their gas pedal. I don't know what it is, and this is driving Kirby. Kirby feels it. He's probably tried everything. Right? There's just something missing with Georgia. Will this weekend in Austin, big game, the biggest game of the year so far coming up, Austin will be on fire Saturday night. The number 1 Texas Longhorn. I tell you, Patrick, when we get Brent, we'll start talking about this. Let's approach this game, Patrick, and say Georgia loses Saturday night at Austin. Georgia would have 2 losses. They still have Tennessee to play, Ole Miss to play, and you start wondering, in that scenario with 2 losses, if Georgia loses in Austin Saturday night, do they want to qualify for the SEC championship game and maybe lose in Atlanta and get shut out and not go to the playoffs at 9? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's same, and you could say the same thing with Alabama Saturday night. Alabama, they've got Tennessee. Imagine if Alabama loses to Tennessee. That's 2 losses.
Well, that's why the thing that you said all the time, like the getting in and getting out and everything that you're discussing right now is based off the context of a committee still being in existence.
I hate it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. If there was no committee, let's just have straight tangible. All right, here's the tiebreaker. Here's this, that. Because a 3-loss team.
Yeah.
If they lose that, Georgia makes it. So let's say they lose the Texas by a touchdown or 3, and then end up making it to the championship game, and they lose again to a number 1 team in the country, number 2 team in the country, and it's a close game again. You can't cut them out.
Yeah, you
can't cut them out.
Would be, in that scenario, they would be the SEC runner-up. No matter the record, you're kind of considered. But there's some real weird potential numerical. Is 9-3 better than 10-2 if you went 9-3, but you made the championship game? There's some. Are 3 losses better if you played the number 1 team twice? Yeah. And that was 2 of your 3. I don't know. There's some real strange numerical dynamics. And Pat, you hit it. One of the main reasons is because it's a beauty contest. It comes down to a beauty contest. And somehow this little league called the NFL, they figured it out. Just do it on the field and do it with tiebreakers. Yeah. Do it on the field.
Florida State would have made if we got rid of the committee doing like Florida State would have made it last year. Obviously, they would have gotten blown out, but they had the resume and would have deserved to be there.
So Georgia, will they wake up Saturday going to Austin? If they don't wake up Saturday, that's a tall order, but I just want to see them play. I watched Georgia football this year, and I know there's a better team in that roster than they're putting on the field and executing. They're just something. It's like the timing belt is off a little bit, right? You know what I mean? It's like the timing belt is just they're just sputtering a little bit. Do you realize how much Kentucky has dominated Florida of recent years? They're not only winning
last 3 years, right? 3 or 4.
And frankly, the years in the last decade, the games that Florida won, there were a bunch they had no business winning. Kentucky's really dominated this series the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
hard to believe.
I'm sure.
Hard to believe. And remember, Florida went 32 years in a row and didn't lose to them. Remember that? They went 31 years in a row. And remember that? Hey, I'll never forget, Patrick. I was at the game.
Yeah, they had some good. I think they had a 10-win season.
I think they've had 1 or 2 there. Patrick, I was at the game in Gainesville. I'm losing a little bit. I don't know if you were in the game in Gainesville several years ago when Kentucky finally broke the streak of 31 straight losses to Florida, and it was the longest major college streak, I think. And Patrick, I was in I'll never forget 3 Kentucky guys. They were in Gainesville and they were wearing matching shirts. And I saw this pregame, and then it made the internet afterwards. Patrick, there are 3 shirts. These were Kentucky fans. It's the front of their shirt said, "Nobody beats Kentucky 32 times in a row." Do you get it? And they won. They broke the streak that night.
Nobody beats Kentucky 32 times in a row.
That's what the front of their and they beat Florida that night and snapped the streak of 31. Is that not great? How great is that?
Yeah.
You didn't get the humor there.
How terrible would it have been if they lost? You lose, you still got to wear that shirt.
Just turn it
inside out. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah.
How about that? I thought that was those were 3 great shirts.
That's funny.
Nobody.
That's funny. That's good.
Nobody beat. And speaking of streaks, I told you I don't even think a lot of people realize Florida State and Duke play tomorrow. Florida State plays a football game tomorrow night, Friday night, 7:00, ESPN at Duke. Do you realize Duke has never beat Florida State in football? Ever. They're like 0-28. Ever. Ever.
I didn't realize that. 0-28. Sheesh.
And that also tells you that they didn't play Florida State during Spurrier's 3 years when he was at Duke, But they've never. How about that, though? Florida State has never lost to Duke in college football like 28 times. And how bad if they lose tomorrow night? You think that stat comes up? Oh,
yeah. That stat comes up without a doubt. Oh, my gosh.
I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go with that game, man. That game, part of me says Duke's going to finally Duke's 5-1. Manny Diaz knows how to coach against Florida State. He's got a lot of history. But then I think, you know what? Isn't it time FSU wins another game somewhere? What do you think, Brad? I don't know, man.
We can't say, okay, isn't it like that's not strong enough to? I guess like, they don't have a good enough team. Yeah, they don't have any cohesion.
Zach, what were you going to say?
Sure they're dealing with some locker room stuff.
The freshman quarterback is starting, yeah, not DJ Uiagalelei. It'd be the freshman. I can't think of his name. He'll be the starter, yeah.
Oh, Brock Glenn.
Roderick?
Yeah, Brock Glenn. Yeah, right. He's 100% the starter, right?
Yeah, I think you've seen the last of DJU unless he gets healthy and there's an injury to Brock Glenn. I can't see DJ coming back in.
Yeah, he broke his hand.
I think so.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Zach, you get what I'm saying, though? I'm like, Florida State's going to win one more game somewhere, aren't they? Or one or two more games
Probably.
somewhere.
I mean, it feels like Duke has got to be due with that being the case. And also, if you factor in the fact that I'm going to pick Florida State as one of my picks, it means that Duke is probably going to win.
Oh, my.
That makes it very likely. You really got to factor this in a little bit.
They don't even need to play that game.
Yeah,
why play the game?
it might be about time for the Duke. The Dukies are going to rush the field after they beat 1-6 FSU.
Oh, don't tell me that, Patrick and Zach. You can't. Can we tell the
honestly, they should. They should rush the field. That's an amazing feat. That's something. Who cares? They're 1-5. Never beat them before. I think you storm the field.
Oh my God! Do you storm the field?
Storm the field. Yeah.
Hey, Pat, I don't know if you saw. Did you see how strong is the SEC going to be in basketball? Florida is 21st in the nation in the preseason basketball poll, and they're 6th in the preseason SEC poll.
Yeah.
How top heavy is that SEC going to be, man? There's some good teams.
It's top heavy, man. Woo. And then the bottom, the bottom 7, they're always awful. They're not going to have a chance.
I'll tell you who's a pain in the butt now is and what's the A&M coach Buzz is
Buzz Williams.
Buzz Williams. He's become a pain in the butt with Texas A&M. They got a great player. They play hard. They and you're like, where did these guys come from all of a sudden? A&M in basketball. God.
Yeah. Well, it definitely hurt last year that Julius Marble, he missed the whole season due to a sexual assault case.
Yeah.
Which is it was so weird. They waited so long for it to come out. Like as soon as the season was over, that's when I kind of knew it was like either this is something academic or this is something like within the end. He would have helped them to go a little bit further. But I think they have a good team, man. They have a good team. I don't think they're in the top 25 preseason, I believe.
I'm almost positive they are. Yeah. They've got Wade Taylor's back, right? Is he back?
Yeah, he's back. Wade Taylor's back.
I mean, there's your
Andrew Coleman's back.
There's your 2 or 3 preseason players of the year: Taylor, Sears, Clayton. I mean, Broom at Auburn. Yeah. Man, Florida is 21st in the nation. I think Florida's going to be really good. By the way, I think Florida is going to be really. If they all mix together, and you know how that works, Pat, you got to mix together and learn your roles, right? You got to learn your roles and mix together.
Of course.
But I think Florida's going to be really good. And by the way, they open up here. What is it? November 4th or whatever.
November 4th at 8:30.
Yeah, can't wait for that. But the SEC basketball is going to be a grind, man. I mean, a grind at the top. Did you notice where Kentucky's below everybody? Kentucky's like preseason number 8. I saw in that coach's preseason poll. Kentucky basketball preseason 8, I think it was. If you count down all the teams. Take another break here. We're cruising through the first hour. It's a Thursday edition. You know where we're at. If it's Thursday, that means our show, the Young and Norvelle Show, is live at our Thursday home. We've been here a long time. We love the folks. We love the food. We love the service here at Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach. You cannot beat it. If you're looking for a seafood fix, they feature all over the menu. They carry the Safe Harbor seafood, the best seafood, the freshest seafood right down the street. I mean, you talk about from the boat to your plate. It doesn't get a whole lot fresher than that. Pat, I don't know if you can hang around any longer. I know you're heading to an appointment. Do what you got to do. We'll take a break, come back, and look at some of the games coming up in college football. We hope to visit with Brent Beard, hour number 2. Another hell of a weekend on paper anyway with college football games.
1, 2, 3.
Really things starting tonight and tomorrow. That and a whole lot more. It's Thursday edition. The Young and Norvelle Show continues after this timeout.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jax with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
Okay, slowly wrapping up hour number 1 here on a Thursday from Sliders Oyster Bar down here in Neptune Beach. Tomorrow, we're on the other end of the beach, Bricks Jack's Beach. We'll have our picks coming your way. We've got 2 tickets to the Florida-Kentucky game we're going to give away tomorrow to some lucky viewer. So keep your ears on, keep your eyes on tomorrow. Giveaway, we've been doing that all season long for home games for the Gators. Zach Rothrock producing, of course. We also have, I think Pat may still be with us. Zach, I'll definitely go to you. As we're wrapping up hour number 1, we hope to have Brent Beard on coming up after the top of the hour, talking college football. All week, and I've failed to do it, shame on me, I've been meaning to go to the clip of the Oregon situation where the Ducks, on purpose to manipulate the rule book, which is fine, it was in the rule book, Dan Lanning and Oregon had a situation where they purposely put a 12th man on the field to get a penalty. Right. And the penalty was enforced, the yardage, but the clock does not go back to the time, so it worked perfectly the way Oregon wanted it to work to help knock off time, and then Ohio State ended the game by sliding in the middle of the field and couldn't get a playoff, a kick, potential game win. I was flipping back and forth. Florida was playing that night, right? I'm back and forth. A great game, by the way, Oregon, Ohio State. I've yet to go back, but I've heard and read and heard and read. Here's my question. And as I understand it, when Oregon wanted to implement that play, they literally told one of their players to walk onto the sideline, not run like his hair was on fire, but walk. Is that correct?
I think that, that more or less appears like what's happening. I can probably get the clip loaded in when you talk to Brent Beard about it.
So
but
anyway,
more or less,
because I want you to talk here with, and I want you to see what I'm. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he walks a few steps on from the sideline onto the field. The officials obviously see it. They throw a flag. Penalty. Clock ticks down about 4 more seconds. Blah 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 blah. Right. Blah 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 blah. They stop play. It's a live ball, so they stop play or what have you. My overall question, though, is in the post game, Oregon head coach Dan Lanning basically narked himself out, number one. And number two, if I was going to implement that type of play to try and hide it, I would have my player run onto the field like his hair's on fire, like it wasn't something we calculated so people don't ask questions about it. I would rather it work for me and have post-game, hey, coach, how'd you have 12 men on the field? Oh, yeah, that almost cost us. What? Dan Lanning and the NCAA has gone back this week and rewritten the rule book to take it out. Why did Dan Lanning basically narc himself out? I don't get that. What am I missing here? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my look into what his thought process onto that would be look at me, look how brilliant I am, look at how I manipulated the rules and found a loophole. I'm obviously the most brilliant head coach that's ever lived, and you guys really need to fix this rule book because you're kind of dumb and you're kind of allowing people to do this. That's just kind of what I think his attitude was potentially.
And I asked the question, you may be dead right, but it also eliminated him from ever using it again.
Yeah, which I mean, I kind of would have to think that it almost became obvious because of how you said the guy went out there kind of like lackadaisical. He didn't go with his hair on fire. Yeah. I mean, it probably could have been more a slyer way to do that. So he could have kept that up his sleeve.
I would have done it more theatrical.
Yeah.
So and then hope that nobody. So obviously that was brought up post game press conference. Yeah. And then he's totally spilled the beans. So maybe you're right or. Hey, man, use it one time. But, I mean, you wonder if Lanning didn't make a big deal out of it, would the NCAA would have said, hey, wait a minute, would anybody called attention? There's a little bit of a loophole here, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And he decided to play the card in probably his biggest regular season game of the year against Ohio State. So maybe his logic is, hey, I did it in the biggest, so why don't I go ahead and make it where no one else could do this against me later?
If we want to, go where we want to go, this is going to get us there or not. So maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I
was going to say, speaking of Oregon, Ohio State, and this speaks to the enormous continued popularity of college football for all you portal people, NIL people. It's killing the game. You've got nothing to stand on. Oregon, Ohio State, a massive Saturday night TV rating, massive, and those are two programs that don't get together often, but college football has never been more popular. I mean, and I've got the quantitative numbers to back it up. All the people that are screaming how the portal, I will go to my grave now. I think the portal's the greatest thing that has ever hit college football. It's an absolute greatest thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been chaos. It's definitely been the wild, wild west. But at the end of the day, the product that's been on the field has been good. It has been entertaining. And it does feel like more teams have a chance. Yeah, my favorite part about the whole new setup is the 12-team playoff, how it's not, we lost a game, so the whole season's over. So we basically have no shot. I like the idea of extending your life a little bit, extending your chances of potentially getting a shot.
Here are my two biggest thoughts of why I think the portal's the greatest thing to hit college football. I've got a couple upfront thoughts. I got a bunch more that I agree with, but the two biggest ones, number one, you can have a really, really quick turnaround. Your fans love that. You can have a quick turnaround because there's free agency, okay? And number two, if I took the time to start listing players that became stars at other portal colleges that they went to because they were behind really good players, do you know how many players did not die on the vine You could go Joe Burrow and Hurts, and there were so many players. The previous 160 years of college football, you would just die on the vine because you were behind a guy, right? Now with the mobility, you don't have to die on the vine. We would never know Joe Burrow. Quinn Ewers, we would never know. Jalen Hurts would have seen Tua take his job, and he would have died on the vine. You could have. There's a million of those guys. A million.
Yeah,
of those. And I always say this. Let me get this out, Zach. I always say this to the people, the fans out there that use the word loyalty. You need to do more homework before you throw. There's no loyalty. Let me tell you about sports and loyalty. There's never been loyalty in sports. Being trapped is not being loyal. Free agency hits pro sports across the board finally. Pro sports is so much better now that you have free. There used to not be free agency, Zach. Your teams. I love using the Yankees as the example. The people say, no, Yankee players, they are loyal. They love their team. Look at all the Babe Ruths and the Joe DiMaggios and the Mickey. Those guys, look at the history. Go back and read and study. Joe DiMaggio bitched every offseason with the Yankees. He wanted to get out of there. He hated his contract situation. He was trapped. In the old days, when you were drafted, the only way you could not play for the team that owned your rights was if they decided to trade you or if you quit. Right? There was no loyalty. Being trapped is not being loyal. You know what I mean? The portal, the best thing to happen to college football.
I mean, I'm all about giving more power to the players and giving more of choice to the players and things of that nature. And it's also interesting to see how much of a curmudgeon some of these certain coaches are, like Dabo Swinney. I mean, and the Clemson's been doing good so far this year, but I feel like eventually,
I know where you're going.
If you maintain that mindset, eventually it's going to come back to hurt you. It really will. And also there's something to like how you say you can turn around your whole team in an off season.
Up. You know what? Dabo will loosen that up. He will.
Yeah, probably.
He'll loosen that.
Probably.
He'll the other thing that always stands out to me when you talk to people that say no loyalty, I hate the portal, I hate the NIL. And not enough people say what I'm saying here. I don't want to be Mr. Know-it-all, but you know what? Nobody seems to ever point out. There's one group that absolutely loves the portal and loves the NIL. And I think the group that I'm going to bring up, I think this group should have more panache and more say than anybody. The players, the guys that play the game.
Oh, yeah.
They love it. They love it. Shouldn't that count for 1,000,000,000%? The players love it.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that are going out there and risking getting CTE every Saturday afternoon so that we can watch 18-year-olds play football for sure.
Johnny on his sofa doesn't like the fact that the players move too much. I can't keep up with them. Well, do we care about Johnny on the sofa or the players? The players. Hey, about Dabo real quick, and I know we're at the top of the hour. And this is probably apples to oranges maybe, but Dabo's stubbornness will come around or he'll get passed by. He'll start using the portal, don't you think? And the reason, I'll give you a small example. My buddy, the head ball coach, he never really liked the shotgun because he thought his offense was based off of taking the snap under center, 3, 5, or 7 steps. All of his offensive formations were built off 3, 5, or 7 steps after you take the snap. And he finally came around. When defenses got so good, defenses started putting their best athletes on the edge, he figured it out and said, hey, man, to survive, I've probably got to adapt to the shotgun. And he did. Dabo will adapt to the portal, I guarantee you, or he'll get out of coaching at the college level.
Yeah, I would imagine he would. Because, it's going to come back to haunt you. But, I mean, also, the extreme other side of that is, how FSU, I believe they brought in, 17 transfers, something like that?
Yeah.
Like an insane amount. And I believe I heard Coach Nick Saban say that, those players are in the portal for a reason. And, it obviously hasn't worked out. And you can't you can't just patch up a whole team with these free agents, with these NIL players. At the end of the day, you still got to build the core of your team through the draft and through recruiting. It's just that these transfer players.
But if I was on a panel with Nick Saban, if I was on a panel with Nick Saban, I would push back a little bit and say, well, your statement about those guys are in the portal for a reason. Well, that makes it sound like they're either not great players or they've got issues. Well, I could list a million guys that were. I mean, you think Keon Coleman was in it for a reason? You think Jared Verse at FSU was in it for a reason? You think Jordan Travis? I mean, there's also been a million home runs. Guys just ready to move.
Oh yeah.
Guys just, maybe they wanted to go to a more winning program.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't think it's a blanket statement, but I see where Saban's going. You know, he knows a little bit about college football.
He does know a fair, decent amount for sure.
That Nick Saban guy. All right, let's take a break here. 1 down, 1 to go. We got a whole other hour. Hope you enjoying the show. We know we're loving bringing it to you. Feel free to give us some comments. If I don't read them when Zach's on, he'll tell me we've got some good comments. We love to have we love when you chat with us on your social media platform of choice that you are enjoying the show on. We're at Sliders Oyster Bar on Thursday. Tomorrow being Friday, that means we'll be on the other end of the beach. It's always a lot of fun down at Bricks Jack's Beach. Come down tomorrow if you're in that area as well. Let's regroup and kick off the second half after this quick timeout.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave. So
feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Back we are, kicking off the second hour here, the Young and Norvelle show, coming to you from, of course, our Thursday home, Sliders Oyster Bar. Thanks to the entire gang. Best seafood, I mean, fish, shrimp, oysters, ceviche. They've got it all. They've got the freshest seafood. Their seafood menu features safe harbor seafood, prepared to your liking. They know what they're doing. The best seafood in the area, guarantee of that. And world famous Oyster Bar as well. Johnny Pop in there right now, getting those oysters out to people. We welcome you back, Terry Norvelle. We hope to hear from Brent Beard. He's having he's trying to get home from a long day of work, and we're trying to get him connected. Not sure on his schedule. We're really into the fall now. Today's a just gorgeous fall day. I'm on the patio at Sliders. Temperature's great. Got a little sweater on top here, man. Perfect weather. And Zach, fall means a lot of things to a lot of people and different things. Temperatures drop. People like to sometimes, a lot of the women like to, wear more clothes, and they get to wear more options. And pumpkin spice, you hear about that in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
When you think of fall, Zach, could we also say chili? Do you think of chili? Good old pot of chili, warm pot of chili.
Yeah, on a cold day. Yeah, sure.
I bring that up because, Zach, a week from Saturday, I am a judge in a chili cook-off, for God's sake.
Chili? Oh, my God. How did you get this gig?
Looking for a big star. They said it'd come down to, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, and myself, and they were busy. And I was too, let me tell you. But it's my hometown. I said, I'll do it. You ever been a judge in a chili cook-off?
I can't necessarily say that I have. No.
I have 2 or 3 times. So, you know what you do as a judge in a chili cook-off?
I would have seen you eat chili and then just pick one to be better.
No, you eat chili and you pick one that's better. That's what you do.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Yeah. So generally, I've done a few of these, and this is a week from Saturday, and we'll talk more about it next week maybe. But I make a prediction right now. I don't think Patrick's at his appointment. He was with us in the first hour.
Right.
But I don't think Pat can hear us when he doesn't know about this. And the invitation came to me, okay? So didn't have Pat's name on it, right? But I know the way Patrick loves to eat. When he hears I'm the judge next week of a chili cook-off, he's going to try. Now, mark this down. You might want to save this clip. Patrick Young's going to try to weasel his way in and be a judge, too.
Gonna try to something. Yeah, I can imagine that happening. Yeah, for sure. You don't want to be left out.
So generally, what happens in these chili cook-offs, they'll serve you like the panel of judges or whatever. They'll serve you a little cup of chili, and you take a little spoon and you eat it, eat a little bit, a couple spoonfuls, and you'll probably have a pencil and paper in front of you, and this is chili A. Rate chili A 1 to 10, 10 being right. So you kind of do that, but then you got to kind of drink a little water between because you want to freshen up your palate. You want to clean your palate.
You got to reset the palate. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but I've learned. I've done this probably my 3rd or 4th one over the last 20 years or so, probably. I learned though, you kind of want to go slow. You don't want to because there may be 30 different chilies entered into this thing, right?
Yeah, so you're taking I'm picturing like a shot glass of chili. It's a little bit more than that, like a bowl almost.
Yeah, the ones I've done, yeah, but you want to pace yourself because.
Is there meat in the chili?
I don't know if there's any rules on this one. I think it's just full bore. Now, I don't like hot stuff, so they need to let me know. I don't want to be eating no damn.
You got to put special label.
They're gonna have to do that for me.
Caliente, right?
Yeah, caliente. No, mucho caliente. No. Right. But I don't want to be walking out there with no dragon breath, breathing fire. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll get you a 0 with a quickness with me. So just know that. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Man, I would literally judge the opposite. I would almost exclusively want the super spicy chilies. I want to be breathing the fire. I don't like to feel I like my mouth to be numb when I'm eating the chili. Does that
I don't
make sense?
understand people that want to eat food and be painful.
I want the food to fight back. I enjoy pain. Let's go.
You sound like
that?
those guys.
I'm a Gamecock fan. Don't you understand how much I enjoy pain? I love pain.
No, I've never understood why people want to have a painful eating experience. That I never get that. The same with the wings.
Jalapenos, I want all of it. Oh yeah, I want the super hot wing.
Ugh. Anyway, that's next Saturday. Chili cook-off contest there. I'll be one of the judges there. There you have it. Just thought I'd throw that out. Yeah, sounds like fun. Hey, we didn't get to this with Patrick, but I wanted to bring this back up. And we'll get to the NFL schedule this weekend. 1 or 2 games that really turned my head, and a great college football schedule we'll get to. We were talking during the break, and I think you agree with me. The Dallas Cowboys, they haven't been great in so long, but they get so much coverage. I'm tired of the Cowboys. Are you? I'm just tired of the whole thing. Go win something.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most asinine things in the history of sports. I still don't see how they beat the Steelers. That literally did mentally break me. They can't run the ball at all. They can't stop the run. I don't see them. But the crazy thing is, they could potentially win their division. I mean, the Washington Commanders got to a hot start, but they could easily come crashing down. The Giants are the Giants. The Eagles are having tons of struggles. Yeah, for sure.
And so Philly, Philly? What is Philadelphia?
Yeah, they're really struggling offensively and defensively in the secondary. But yeah, they're with their central location and with their embracing the America's Team moniker. As long as Jerry Jones is poking around, I mean, they're gonna be one of the more relevant brands in the sport and all of sports. And that's
and they're big. They're internationally big. I understand all that. I'm just tired of them, and I'm not the biggest NFL fan. And if I'm tired of them, man, I'm just tired of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how the national sports talk formula is basically anytime any type of news story breaks, it's how does this impact the Cowboys or how does this impact LeBron James? It's one of those two paths, and they'll always link any story back to one of those two. And it's like that's the only thing that people. But the thing is, that's what people watch. That's what people click on. That's what people interact with. Even though the majority of the comments are negative, it's I hate the Cowboys. Why are we talking about this so much? They don't see that. They just see the bottom line number that people are interacting with it.
Zach, that's so funny. Today over in England, Manchester United won their soccer world championship. And the Dallas Cowboys haven't won one in 24 years.
Right. Yeah, it always comes back to Dallas. It really does.
And Manchester won today on the pitch. Let's throw it to LeBron James and see what he thinks about that.
Yeah, how does this impact LeBron's legacy?
Yes, exactly.
That's what everything is.
Hey, speaking of, did you see where the damn NBA season's about to tip off?
Yeah, it is. And Bronny James is playing with his dad. I don't understand. He averaged 1.2 points per game at USC.
Terrible. And you know what? I remember during the offseason we talked about this. I'm going to throw it out again. If, and it looks like it's going to happen, in a regular season game, LeBron James is going to be on the court with his son, and it's going to be the first time. Does that really count? Because we all know it's trumped up. It's fake.
Yeah. It feels really, really manufactured, really Mickey Mouse. And I by and large historically have been like I'm a LeBron guy. Like I like rooting for LeBron. I like for him to do good. But this is it's pretty Mickey Mouse. Man, I get that he just wants to be a good dad. And he wants to say that he had his son make it to the NBA. But no, you really didn't.
But I mean, if Michael Jordan went to the Chicago Bulls during his heyday and said, "Hey, man, I want Marcus to be on the court. I want us to sign. I want to sign my son Marcus Jordan to a 10-day contract, right? To a 10-day contract, and I want him to come on the court for 1 second."
They probably would have done it. They probably would have done it, honestly. If it would have meant that he didn't ever retire and go play baseball, they 100% would have done it for sure.
Of course they would have done it, but would that record have been real though? Are people going to take this real?
In my eyes, it's not. It's nothing like Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. No. It's not like that at all. In my eyes, it's not. It's not even as like how Frank Gore Jr. is playing in the NFL now after his dad just retired. It's not even that. Like that's way more impressive. It's just one of those things where, LeBron is LeBron, and so he gets an idea to do something, and literally no one's going to tell him no, and so it's happening.
I'm just going to be curious: are the Stephen A. Smith going to go? wow, what an accomplishment. First up, it's fake. It's
I don't know.
fiction.
I feel like that the general consensus honestly is kind of what we're doing. I feel like it's not a whole lot of, I don't know. I feel like I haven't really necessarily heard anyone say, "Man, this is crazy that Bronny James is in the NBA. He's going to be the next All-Star." Like I haven't really heard that take being given out genuinely. But maybe someone genuinely does have it. I don't know.
And I mean, so many people on the outside, not in the inner LeBron world, so many basketball people and coverers of the sport and all have come out and said he really doesn't have any game. I mean,
No.
you get the feeling tonight if he went to run at open gym at one of the high schools, he might not be first pick. You know?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that he's a decent player compared to your average individual, but I mean, the fact that he only scored 1.2 points a game at USC is just really concerning. I mean, it's not the level of competition they played night in and night out was that fierce. He wasn't the best player on his team, so I don't even know. I mean, he's going to be the worst player on the court every time he's on the court for his whole NBA career.
Maybe scoring's not his thing. Maybe he's a lockdown. Maybe he's
he's a facilitator like his dad for sure.
Maybe,
Except
maybe he's Gary Payton, the new glove, right? Gonna lock you down.
I mean, he might be great. I might be way off. I'm far from a basketball scout. I'm far from a basketball analyst, but I just feel like the Bronny James, it's a real Mickey Mouse. It's a publicity stunt. It's what are we doing here?
How many of the ball kids made it? The one kid made it. He's a legit NBA player.
Yeah, he played
He's been hurt a lot, right? One of them's been hurt a lot, but are there more
Right.
than one? And did one of them get a free pass, or no? Is there just one ball?
Lamar Ball on the Hornets has been a pretty solid player. I think he played for the Lakers as well. Or then there was Lonzo. Lonzo's what I mean.
He's
And
the one.
then there was also LaMelo who tried to have a small stint, but I don't really think that he necessarily. I think he was on a roster but didn't pan out.
Melo got to go. Melo, you got to go.
Yeah.
Right? Melo, got to go.
But see,
Get
that
out
was
of
an
here,
example of, that was a dad, like, I mean, he raised those kids and, he put them through whatever type of training they went, which I'm sure probably isn't healthy mentally, but I mean, they actually were legitimately good enough to play in the NBA. Like Lonzo actually legitimately is a solid player. Yeah, he actually is solid.
Obviously, the ones in the NBA, I agree with you. I know they went too deep. At least they were talented enough to get a real look, right? And not be wasted. It wasn't a Trump card kind of thing, Right,
no. He had a really, really awkward shooting form, but he had like a good court vision. He had a good defense. He was good at all the other things outside of shooting, basically.
I wonder, though, would that ball kid, Lonzo, would he have made it at least to the level if he is? What if his dad was not in the line? Remember how irritating his dad was for about 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, see, I almost feel like it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like if his dad wasn't there to push him, he may have never done the training. Like he may have never turned into the guy that he did. It's almost it feels like his dad was a lot like Earl Woods. It feels like his dad was like, we're gonna do this whether you like it or not. But Lonzo and those 3 kids, they embraced it. They didn't reject. They didn't shun this.
The father ball, he was irritating. Remember those?
Oh God, yeah, the time he was on the Colin Cowherd show and he told the female host to stay in her lane. I mean, that was like one of the more crazier things I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe it was real when I was watching it.
And just to add a little salt to the wound, he had one of those punchable faces, didn't he?
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, just loud, just like claims he could beat Michael Jordan in a 1-on-1. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, there's no
Holy
way.
cow!
He's literally. He's the guy that goes to the YMCA and brags about like his high school days, but in reality, when he was in high school, he was like a borderline starter. Like it wasn't really that crazy.
He was Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, he's the basketball version of Uncle Rico for sure.
Yeah, and you remember the famous thing? If you watch, I love Napoleon Dynamite. If you watch the movie, in the movie, the whole movie, Uncle Rico's talking about high school and how state championship game and quarterback and high school and quarterback. Well, he kept talking about it during the movie for about the first hour and 20 minutes, right? And then very late in the movie, well, let me back up. The way he told his story, Uncle Rico, man, he was in the movie supposed to be like 31, and he's reliving his 18-year-old high school state championship football days, blah, blah, blah. And then late in the movie, you got to listen hard. He starts talking about the high school football career again, and he goes, I'll tell you one thing, Rico. I'll tell you one thing, Napoleon. If that coach had put me in, we'd have won that game. He didn't even play.
Yeah, he wasn't even the player. Yeah, that is a part of it. Yeah, I think he was setting up a tripod to make a scouting video for like pro teams in the beginning part. Yeah, he said, "Yeah,
And
coach
remember,
would put me in. We ain't a doubt in my mind. We would have won that game." Oh
If he'd have put me in, we'd have won that game, Napoleon. And he goes, "See those mountains over there? When I was young, I could throw the ball right over those mountains."
Yeah, I could throw a football a quarter mile clear over the mountains. Oh
But,
yeah.
oh my goodness, that Lonzo Ball dad. I mean, you talk about wanting to send a punch in the nosogram. I'd send a punch in the nosogram right to him. He could open it up, wham.
Yeah, and I mean, he'd probably just open his mouth and just swallow it up. He probably wouldn't even care.
That guy was
irritating. Keep
irritating.
smiling.
He was irritating though.
I definitely. I never thought.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, their big baller brand, their shoes, their clothing line. I know that I saw several instances of people that bought the shoes online. They said they opened it up and they literally like fell apart the first time they put them on. Like the shoe just the logo came off and everything. Yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, and like the same thing with the shirts. Like if you put them in the washing machine, the Triple B logo would just basically just peel off or fade away like really quickly.
I forgot about the big baller
brand.
Oh
yeah.
My God, is that still around? Can you buy one of those?
There's no way. I would imagine Lonzo. I don't even know if Lonzo is still signed to that. I gotta look that up.
Oh my God, I forgot. Remember that was going to rival Nike or Jordan. The Jordan.
Oh yeah,
brand.
they said it was the new Jordan. Oh yeah, he was 100% like this is the new Jordan.
Oh my God Almighty, I forgot about that. Thank you, Zach.
I think he. I think he is. Yeah. I think he's even with. There's a big baller music group, 80s Babies, and yeah, there's a record label with Big Baller brand that Lonzo is also part of, in addition to the shoes. So yes, he's still associated with the Big Baller brand.
And this is his dad, though, starting all this, right? This isn't necessarily him.
Oh yeah. This is a LeVar Ball creation.
Please tell me that are any of them singing records? Are they making records themselves, you think?
I would have to imagine they do, and they heavily use the auto-tune. I can kind of picture what they sound like without hearing it, honestly.
Oh my, there's not enough auto-tune in the world, probably. Right?
They might be really good. You don't know. I mean, he might can sing very well. He might be
what,
a very clever
I'll tell
lyricist.
You listen to the download of 8 songs on each side and report back to me. I'm not going to give my time to that thing.
I might get into that just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll come back. I promise we're going to look ahead to I think there's a couple of good NFL games. There's a bunch of good college games on the schedule. Let's talk about that. And don't forget, I keep feeling like I need to remind everybody. Do you realize the Florida State Seminoles play a football game tomorrow night? Florida State at Duke. And Duke is the 5-1 team. Florida State is the 1-5 team. Wow. Florida State in Durham, and it's a coin flip game. We'll talk about that as we go. Wrapping up an hour, second hour of the Young and Norvelle show. A couple of baseball games. We'll try to track the Yankees as they are first pitch. Yeah, they should be underway. Zach and I will try and keep you updated if you're trapped and can't follow that. We'll let you know about 2 games, one afternoon and one later tonight on the West Coast. We'll be back on a Thursday from Sliders.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Okay, a lot of stuff to do here as I welcome you back to hour number 2. We're cruising through a Thursday edition from Sliders Oyster Bar. I want to look at the college football schedule and a couple of the games in the NFL coming up over the weekend that are intriguing. But a couple of things to get to. No score, bottom of the first. Yankees at Cleveland. The Yankees lead the series 2-0. Cleveland does have a couple runners on with nobody out. And a story that just broke, and I hope there's nothing to this, bad, sad, or anything else, but it's a strange timing story. Virginia, the University of Virginia, their basketball coach, Tony Bennett, remember, he has a national title under his belt. He's a good, solid coach. He's the son of Dick Bennett, I think it was, who coached in college basketball for 1,000,000 years. Tony Bennett's been very successful, the current basketball coach at Virginia. And again, they won a national championship, 5 years ago, in 2019, I think it was. But news coming out of Charlottesville, Virginia men's basketball coach Tony Bennett will announce his immediate retirement Friday. Tomorrow, the school has announced. Bennett, 55, was set to begin his 16th season with the Cavaliers in less than 3 weeks, with the program opening their season November 6th against Campbell. So, no interim has been named yet. I'm sure that'll be part of the press conference announcement tomorrow. Very, very interesting with regard to, and Zach, we were both reading this at about the same time during the break. I like to scroll through and make sure nothing's going on. And you mentioned the same thing. Number one, what awkward timing. College basketball season is about to start. I mean, they are deep into practice and we're a couple weeks away from the very odd timing, which leads you to speculate, and that's all it is. You hope it's something health-wise, right? That's one of the first things that come up is it something health-wise? Hopefully not. Secondarily, Zach, is it something, I'll use the word nefarious, illegal? Is there, but you would think there's an it back there more than just, you know what, I woke up this morning and I'm just not into it anymore.
Yeah, it feels like it has to be. There has to be something. Like, it could be something really mild. It could be something really small. Like, I don't know. But I mean, it feels like he's either got some type of health issue that he just doesn't want to disclose at the moment, or that there's some type of pending scandal that we're going to see break loose over the next coming days or weeks.
And you hope both are not. But generally in this type of, I mean, this is so close to the season. And I mean, this is not a guy that's been fighting for his job. I mean, he's royalty there. I mean, Ralph Sampson did not win a national championship at Virginia. You know, the great Ralph. I mean, this guy won in the ACC. And look at some of these. He's a 2-time national coach of the year, led Virginia to the national championship in 2019. He won 6 ACC regular season titles and 2 ACC tournament titles. I mean, that is a big time resume.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to beat that. And I'm kind of just trying to just scroll through, like, to see some basically just fan comments on it. The Virginia folks are like blindsided by it. They're deaf. They didn't see this coming at all. Some people are saying that health has nothing to do with it. I don't know how they could possibly potentially know that. But I mean, it feels like this news truly did come out of nowhere. There were no like cookie crumbs anywhere that people thought this was coming.
And that's the shocking thing. And, you know, man, I just hope it's not health related and not just a terrible scandal, but and when I say health related, even somebody in the family, you know, if I don't want it to, you know, if one of your children is sick or your spouse is sick or your mother or grandmother and it feels like he needs to walk away, hopefully tomorrow something, can we say soft will be the reasoning maybe?
I would hope so.
You know, it would be very odd for a guy that basketball, I mean, you talk about a basketball life. His dad was a legend and coached forever. Right. I think it was at Wisconsin. I think his great years were at Wisconsin, his father. I mean, this guy, Tony Bennett, was literally born into a basketball family. So you would think if he just woke up tired of coaching one day that he would have known that should have been announced in the offseason, right?
Yeah, it feels like he would do that in like May, June. Yeah, not October 17th. We're getting like less than a month away from the season at this point. Yeah, I mean it's kind of insane. There has to be. I mean, something's going to come out. Like I say, we're just speculating, but something's going to come out about this for sure.
And tomorrow, obviously, they're going to make a
tomorrow at 11 is supposed to be when his press conference is.
Wow, unique situation. Hopefully, it can be the best of a unique situation. Top of the second, still no score. Cleveland and the Yankees. Zach, while I've got you on, Brent's going to try and get on in a little bit, but looking at the NFL schedule, I'm trying to see some games that really appeal. Obviously, the Jaguars play at 9:30. Big game, I think, I think it's pretty fair to say the Jaguars will most likely have a losing season.
It'd be hard for them not to at this point.
Yeah, most likely. I think Sunday's game is what level of a losing season do you have? Do you have a 6, 7, 8 win losing season or a 2 or 3? If they lose to New England, Zach, I think it could be one of those just ugly 3-win. I mean, 3-14 is a lot worse than 7-10. I know they're losing season.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. At 7-10, you kind of feel like you got a chance to just make a couple moves and you can be in the playoffs next year. At 3-14, you just feel like you're just spinning your tires in the mud where you've been for the past half decade. Yeah. It feels like they're going to be fighting with the Browns for the number 1 overall pick right now, and that's certainly not where you want it. That's where neither of these franchises led by Clemson quarterbacks thought they would be heading into the season. But that's where they are.
How about that? But Zach, looking at the rest of the NFL schedule for this week, obviously. There's 2 or 3 games that jump out to me. I don't know if there's any that jump out to you. How about Houston at Green Bay? That intrigues me.
Oh, yeah. I really like C.J. Stroud and the Texans for sure.
That's a good game. I think the biggest game, the game that jumps off the page at me, Detroit at Minnesota. Whew.
That's a real fun. I would expect that to be a shootout with this being Detroit's first game without Hutchinson. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game.
And I think, if I remember right, I looked up the schedule. They also play because they're fighting it out in their division. I think that's going to be a hell of a fun run. They also play their second matchup because they're division foes. The final game of the regular season, if I remember right, That'll be fun, I think.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that could be for all the marbles.
Houston at Green Bay is really a pretty game on paper, I think. Detroit at Minnesota.
Yeah.
And what a shame. What could have been. Kansas City is at San Francisco. Too bad the 49ers are so banged up.
Yeah, Super Bowl rematch. But yeah, I mean the Chiefs are kind of banged up too on offense.
Yeah.
It's just they've been kind of just how you doing, keeping it moving. They've been trucking along regardless.
I agree.
I agree. The 49ers just need to find a way to score when they get in the red zone. That's been their major issue. They just can't do that. But yeah, that I get what you mean. That's supposed to be a heavyweight showdown between the two Super Bowl champions, and it kind of just feels like a notch down from what it really should be.
I'll tell you, man, I'm a broken record. I've been saying this for several weeks about the Kansas City Chiefs, and you can file under this under the Terry. They've won a couple Super Bowls in a row, right? I marvel at the organization, the Kansas City organization. They've got a good organization, man. They see things that happen. They plug and play. They have big injuries. They go out and get somebody. They know who's out there, right? You got to know who's out there to go get somebody when you need a running back. When Pacheco's out for a while, they go get Hunt, who's been cleared by the league.
Yeah.
They go back and get receivers because Rice is out. Man, they do it every year. That organization is run well, man. Duh. But
they're basically what the Patriots used to be. Like, for example, the Juju Smith-Schuster was on the Chiefs, and then he went to the Patriots. On the Patriots, he did nothing. Very, very unproductive. Now he's back on the Chiefs, and he's productive again, getting 90-yard games again. It's just the Chiefs' Mount Rushmore is Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. As long as they got those four guys together, they're going to win a lot of games. They're going to be really tough to beat.
And Zach, not to make light, and I don't want to make light at all of what Andy Reid did as the Philadelphia Eagles head coach, because he put a hell of a resume. Remember how many
he was great there.
Games? I mean, he went to so many championship games. Would you ever have thought in a bazillion years that way back when Reid was, let's say, his final year, he just wrapped up his final year with the Eagles, would you ever have thought, you know what, that little thing he did with the Eagles, pat him on the head, that was cute. He's going to have a career that made that look like Pop Warner. Would you ever?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just his Chiefs career alone, I think, is enough to be a Hall of Fame coach. You couple it with his Eagles career, it kind of makes him one of the potentially maybe the greatest coach of all time. Definitely in that stratosphere.
Absolutely.
He is the system. And
you can see my fingers. As the Eagles coach, he was that far away from a ridiculous resume. Right?
Oh, he was great. I mean, Donovan McNabb was playing at an MVP level year in and year out with him, and they had an outstanding defense back then. I mean, Brian Dawkins and the boys.
And I mean, legitimately, now you can't just say, well, anybody who was in the game could have won it, or anybody who made the championship game could have won the Super Bowl. Andy Reid with the Eagles, if the ball had bounced a little different in two or three games, he's got 2 or 3 Super Bowls with the Eagles.
Oh yeah, I think the Patriots beat him in the Super Bowl by a field goal, and then they lost 3 other NFC title games. Yeah,
they beat him here.
Yep, exactly right. Yep.
But I mean, Andy Reid was so close to having a stratosphere, a career out of the stratosphere with the Eagles, but that was just a cute little warm up. I would have never thought that. He's kicked it out of the park with Kansas City.
Yeah. He kind of won the lottery ticket by getting Patrick Mahomes, who was actually only the number 6 overall pick, not the number 1 overall pick. But I mean, but it's a combination of, he needed Mahomes and Mahomes needed him. They needed each other, and now that they've been in their system and they keep adding layers to the onion year in and year out, that they've kind of become. I mean, when the play breaks down and he gets in sync, and then Travis Kelce starts changing his route based on what zone the defense is in, you can't stop that. There's literally nothing you can do, especially when Jawan Taylor gets to do a false start on every single play and they never call it. There's literally nothing you can do.
And Mahomes, he really has been durable too. I mean, he's a pretty physical quarterback. He doesn't mind tucking it and running. Some of them don't like to do that. He's been pretty durable too. That's helped.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's had a few minor ankle injuries that he's been able to play through, but for the most part, he's maintained healthy. I mean, he doesn't really take a lot of huge hits. I mean, now at this point, he kind of gets the Brady treatment where he's not. If you touch him, you get flagged and thrown out.
Yeah.
So but durability is key for sure.
Compared to a lot of quarterbacks, he's running and sliding and diving a lot more than other guys. But, he's been durable. He's, it only takes one time to hit.
Yeah.
And there goes the wrist or there goes the ankle,
Oh, I mean, there's definitely something to it. I mean, every time he runs and picks up a first down, he just slides. Every time Tua Tagovailoa runs and gets a first down, he falls down and his head hits the turf really hard.
Hard.
Yeah.
Hey, let's we'll probably keep this segment a little bit long and then just kind of wrap things up. We'll catch up with Brent Beard tomorrow and go over these games. We went over some NFL games, intriguing. All right, here's some of the college games, and I think it's a good college weekend. FSU Duke, we talked about. Number 6, Miami at Louisville. That's a noon ABC game. Louisville's got to go beat somebody before I really, make that must-see TV. But it's watchable. Here's a sneaky good game. Nebraska. Nebraska's had a good year.
Oh yeah.
You knew they had. I think they got the right coach. They've got a generational quarterback. They think Nebraska at 16th ranked and undefeated Indiana, for God's sakes.
So Nebraska, they're the ones they got Raiola. Yeah.
Raiola, yeah, the kid that
he is the most fascinating person to me. It almost feels like he's cosplaying, like he's pretending to be Patrick Mahomes. But to a certain extent, he's able to do that because he does the armbands, he does the pregame celebration, he does everything. Yeah. And to a certain extent, he's able to do it because he does have the talent, he does have the arm strength, he does have the athleticism. But it's just, I don't know, is it good or is it bad? To a certain extent, there's definitely worse things you can do than to want to be Mahomes, right?
Zach, I don't know if you followed him. He outwardly admits it. He goes, "He's my hero." He said, "I do this stuff."
Yeah, I mean,
he's my hero.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be. I mean, if he tried to say that he wasn't trying to mimic Mahomes, he would be like, "What?" Yeah. So you just happen to do all this stuff the same. I mean, yeah, there's definitely worse things you can do than to try to be just like Patrick Mahomes. But I just feel like at a certain extent, do you need to branch out and be your own person, or do you just want to continue to pretend to be Patrick Mahomes? Because I mean, what you could do is you could just pretend to be Mahomes so long and so good that you end up winning multiple MVPs and multiple Super Bowls. It's it's just fascinating to me.
That's a sneaky little game, Nebraska, Indiana.
Oh yeah, I'll check it out.
On this game, a elimination game. Number 7 Alabama at number 11 Tennessee, 3:30 ABC. That has playoff ramifications. Somebody walks out of there with 2 losses and half the season still to go. Just keep in mind, somebody walks out of there with 2 losses, half the season. I think another intriguing little game is Notre Dame, who they've got there's not a schedule easier in the world of football ever. Notre Dame, you realize they could basically just go to the playoffs by not playing a regular season. Notre Dame's at Georgia Tech. Yeah. I think Tech will play a good game against Notre Dame. Michigan, 24th in the country, at Illinois, 22nd in the country. Brett Bielema has done a nice job at Illinois. That's a fun little game. Here's a sneaky game that might be pretty good at night. 8th ranked LSU at Arkansas. Arkansas has been a good surprise this year.
Yeah.
Don't you think? They've played hard. They played well. Arkansas is a fun story this year.
Yeah, they could definitely give them a run. LSU has been pretty up and down. When they played their best, they're really good. When they played down, they can
they
lose
are
a
up
team
and
like
down.
Arkansas.
They are up and down. Obviously, the game in Gainesville, 7:45. Kentucky, who has dominated the series as of late, and who could forget last year's game in Lexington? You remember Ray Davis, who's in the NFL now? He ran for almost 300 yards. Every time they handed the ball off, Kentucky was gouging Florida for about a 20-yard run. I don't know if you remember that game. It was unbelievable, the running offense. Florida could not stop the run.
Yeah, it feels like Florida's defense is in a better place than they were last. I mean, last year, Florida's defense probably one of the worst defense ever put on the college football field last year. So that they definitely are a step up. So I would like to think that, especially in the swamp, they can tone that down some. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how the tables have turned in that rivalry over the past few years for sure.
And then the big game of the weekend, Georgia, 5th-ranked Georgia, with 1 loss already at undefeated Texas, number 1 Texas. Again, it's hard to believe, but we could come out of this coming Saturday's final games. By midnight, we could come out of this Saturday with Georgia, Alabama. 2 of the 3 could have 2 losses.
Yeah, I mean, the feels like almost has to happen.
And think about, I keep going back, I keep hearkening back the Georgia-Kentucky game. Georgia beat Kentucky 13-12. You remember the game, low-scoring game. And by the fourth quarter, Kentucky probably should have won that game. I think Kentucky, if you remember, I don't know if you watched that game, Zach. Late in the game, Kentucky probably should have won that Georgia game. Do you realize right now how big that was for Georgia? If Georgia had lost to Kentucky and they lost to Alabama, Georgia.
It was close.
I mean,
I remember. I was upset that didn't go for a 4th and 13 at the end of that game. They punted it away instead.
Where I'm going with this is simple math. Do you realize had Georgia lost to Kentucky, hell, they won 13-12. Kentucky probably should have won that game. Georgia lost to Alabama. That's 2 losses. If they were to lose to Texas, that would be their 3rd loss. And it's hard to make it. It's going to be hard to make the playoffs with 3 losses. Interesting. Brent, we're going to squeeze you in here, buddy. We only got a minute or two. We can do this tomorrow, but But I mean, there are some. This thing's getting hot now. Georgia, if they lose Saturday, they've got 2 losses with still some losable games.
Oh yeah,
Alabama, Tennessee. Somebody's going to have a second loss with losable games. I mean, this thing's going to get heated up quick.
Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about that. And matter of fact, on your comment about Kentucky and Georgia, Terry, do you remember that Kentucky punted when they probably should have went for it on 4th down?
Yes.
And that would have made a huge difference in that ball game. But no question. Now, again, you got Georgia playing Ole Miss in November. So that's going to be another huge game for them.
They still have Tennessee.
No doubt. But listen, Terry, and you said this the other day, and I agree with you. What is going on is what the powers to be wanted is it's building every weekend, and fan bases are more on the edge of their seat than they've ever been. You can tell that by the television numbers, too.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Ohio State, Oregon was off the charts the other night. I'm sorry, Brent, I think your number, and correct me, I think I asked you this week, how many programs do you legitimately think they could grab a 12 spot? And you said 35, I think. That's incredible.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And look, that was what this playoff expansion was about, that you'd have 20 to 30 teams thinking that if they had a late run, that they would make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And maybe some, Terry, with even like what, a 9-3 record?
Absolutely.
In a 9-3 record in the SEC or the Big Ten, I still think might get you in. Do you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. And you know what that reminds you of, or reminds me of? And we're about to start seeing this in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And the NFL loves this. It reminds me of, in about 2 or 3 weeks, when you're watching the NFL, in the hunt, NFC, and they'll list, right? They'll list, 8, 9, 10 teams in the hunt.
Yes.
And then they'll go to the other side and they'll say in the hunt. And if you add that up, you've got 20 teams of the 32 still in the hunt, which is good for the NFL.
Well, and see, what we've got right now is we've got teams that we never thought would be in the hunt. Iowa State is in the hunt. Believe it or not, Army and Navy are in the hunt.
Indiana
is in the hunt. There's absolutely no question about that. So, and look, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but how crazy would it be if Vanderbilt ran the table? They're 4-2 now.
You know what? I'd root for that. I would
too. I would too. I agree with you on that totally.
And I don't know how the bowl tie-ins are with Army and Navy, and I think they've got one bowl tied in, sort of. Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing. If Army and Navy reach a bowl, I would love to see one of them play Vanderbilt. Those two fan bases would be off the chart going to a bowl. I don't care what bowl it is.
Now listen, I hear, and I'm curious, I'm wondering if you've heard this, that now Vanderbilt's going to beat Ball State, but what I'm hearing is that now get this. I'm glad you're sitting down for this. That game day may be going to either Indiana or Vanderbilt.
Oh, that's great. That is great. You know what they should do for the first time ever? Send 2 crews. Split them up. Do half.
Yes.
Brent, we'll let you go with this, and we'll come back. We'll only have a second or two, so we'll go over this again tomorrow.
That's fine.
I talked to a buddy of ours, and I'll just leave his name as Ron.
Yes.
And you know Ron is a sports guy and knows sports.
I do.
I talked to him in person today, midday, and I'm telling you, a lot of people were just as in the dark as Ron. I was talking to him before he left. I said, hey, Ron, you know FSU plays tomorrow night. He went, what?
Yeah.
I don't think people realize, and I know they're 1-5, but they're one of our teams. I can't wait to watch the game.
I agree.
I don't think anybody knows that FSU and Duke play tomorrow at 7 o'clock Friday night.
And FSU is 22-0 against Duke on the field. They may be 22-1, Terry Norvelle, by the end of Friday night.
How about Duke has never beat Florida State in a football game?
Never.
That also tells you that the head ball coach didn't play FSU while he was at Duke.
That's exactly right. Yes.
I don't know. Hey, good stuff,
Yes.
Brent. I'm glad you made it home okay. And if we can, man, I'd love to squeeze you in for a long time tomorrow. We got a lot of college ball. It's a good. I think every weekend's going to be good now.
I agree. We'll make that work tomorrow night, Terry. Okay.
You got it, buddy. That's our good friend and a great friend of our show, Brent Beard, checking in. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, recap. I'll give you the baseball score, first of 2 tonight. And as we break, Zach and I were talking how ironic it is. All these baseball games in Major League Baseball, 162 rounds of playoffs. And you know what's going to happen? The 2 best teams are going to meet, the Yankees and the Dodgers. We'll catch you up on the score momentarily. It looks like the Yankees leading right now. We'll set it up and set up tomorrow's show. We'll get out of here. One more segment coming to you live from Slider's Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, if you're starting to make plans for the weekend, man, you cannot go wrong. Look where I'm at, the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. It's this weather. Get up here. You will enjoy it. I guarantee you. That'll just about wrap things up here. Terry Norvelle coming to you from Sliders. Tomorrow we are down at Bricks Jax Beach on that end of the beach. And quickly, 1-0 Yankees lead over Cleveland. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead. So Cleveland really, they have to get 2 of 3 or it's over. But even if Cleveland can send it back to New York, that is a tough chore. Later on tonight, the National League out west, Dodgers will take on the Mets, and the Dodgers taking control of that. We'll see you tomorrow at Bricks. Check us out.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream same channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.